What's going on, guys? Ben here. I'm glad you're able to get your hands on this training because this is the exact blueprint that has helped myself and countless of our students do hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of wholesale deals worth well over $10 million. So we're going to break it down, exactly what we do on a daily basis to get these deals, okay? We're going to go through a lot, so if I were you, I'd put it on 1.5 speed so you can get through it a little bit quicker. Take some notes, pay attention, we'll get through this together. And let's dive into it. All right, so here we go. So we're going to learn how to make $10,000 to $20,000 a month in real estate without any experience and with little upfront capital. So who's this for? If you're here, chances are you're feeling stuck in one of these places. You're either grinding in a 9-to-5 that pays the bills but doesn't really give you that real freedom. Every Sunday night, you start to feel that sinking feeling. You know you're about to go spend another week making somebody else rich. Maybe you want to invest in real estate, but the biggest thing holding you back is money. You've heard about wholesaling, but is it real? Does it actually work? Or maybe you're in sales, but the deals you're closing aren't life-changing and you want something bigger, something with real profit margins that can change your financial future. Or maybe you know you're meant for more, but you need a roadmap. You're driven, you're hungry, but without a clear system, you're spinning your wheels. If any of this sounds familiar, you're in exactly the right place. And by the end of this, you'll have a clear plan to move forward. If you're here, chances are you don't just want a little extra cash. You want real freedom. You want to control your income so you can finally leave a job that's draining you. You want wholesaling to be your entry point in real estate, not just a side hustle. You want that time freedom, the ability to work from anywhere and spend more time with the people that matter to you most. Okay? And most of all, you want financial stability, knowing that money's coming in month after month without the stress. If this resonates with you, then this training is exactly where you need to be. So you've probably watched all the YouTube videos, read blog after blog, maybe even joined some Facebook groups, yet, you're still here. You still don't have a clear path, step-by-step plan. Every strategy contradicts the last, and instead of taking action, you feel stuck inside research mode, okay? Then there's the legal side, the contracts, the paperwork. It all sounds official and super complicated. And the last thing that you want is to accidentally sign something that puts you on the hook for money you don't have. And let's be honest, fear of failure is keeping you frozen. Maybe you're asking yourself, well, what if I mess up? What if I can't find a buyer? What if, I just waste my time? Those doubts stop most people before they even start. And finally, where do you even find deals? It feels like everyone else already knows the secret while you're left searching for that entry point. So really quick, why should you even give a shit about what I have to say about wholesaling? Because I started exactly where you are. I wasn't some real estate guru raised in a real estate family. I didn't grow up with a rich uncle who taught me the game. I was lost, frustrated, and stuck in a job that felt like a slow death. For years, guys, I did what I was supposed to do. Went to school, landed a corporate job, and yet every single freaking day I sat in that office, watching the clock, feeling like I was wasting my life. I wanted out, but I had no clue how to escape. And maybe that's where you are right now. You know you're meant for more. You know there's a way to break free, but every time you try to figure it out, you get buried in information overload, conflicting advice, fear of messing up. That was me until I found wholesaling. At first, I had zero experience. I didn't have a network. I barely had any extra money. But through trial and error and a hell of a lot of persistence, I figured it out. Fast forward a few deals. 400 plus deals closed, over $10 million in transactions, built multiple seven-figure businesses, coached countless people to their first wholesale deal, and most importantly, I own my time and my life. No, I don't have a Lamborghini. I don't flash Rolexes. I don't need to. What I have is total time and financial freedom. And in this presentation, I'm going to show you the exact steps you can take to achieve the same. No fluff, none of the hype, just a real proven system that works. So these are some deals. 12 grand, 22, 53, 22, 40,000, 72 grand, 39 grand, 15 grand. All of this is through this exact method that I'm going to show you today. And I don't show you this to brag, but to show you that what I'm about to educate you on is real and it's possible for you too. It's not flashy and it's not sexy. but it's just how I like it. I get to travel the world with my fiance, my soon-to-be wife. And I get to do these things because I've built my business in a way that I can run it from anywhere in the world. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that too. So if you've ever tried to figure out real estate investing on your own, you've probably seen this. Endless strategies, dozens of gurus saying different things. Super confusing, right? One expert swears by one method, another says it's a waste of time. There's way too much information. There's no clear path. You're spending hours reading, watching, researching, and still feeling stuck. It's overwhelming. When you don't know where to start, you just don't start at all. And this is what I did for a long time. But that's not what's going to happen here. We're going to cut through that noise. There are only 4 profitable strategies for new real estate investors that are worth talking about. Each of these methods has created financial freedom for thousands of investors. People have built empires using these strategies. Done right, any one of these can work. So the BRRRR method. The BRRRR method is a powerful method. You buy a property, you renovate it, you rent it out, you refinance it to pull your cash out, and then you repeat. This method worked great 5 years ago when interest rates were lower. When you could buy a property, go and renovate it for cheaper than you can today. You could then refinance it because the interest rates were low and pull out some cash. And then go take that cash and put it back into another property. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Okay? This worked great back then. But with interest rates the way they are now, with the home prices as high as they are now, this is a very difficult strategy. You have to buy property so cheap for this to work. Buy and hold. This worked great when my parents were buying houses. They could buy a house for $100,000, have a $750 a month mortgage, have a tenant in there that was paying $1,500 a month, and after taxes, insurance, repairs, management, vacancies, they were still making $500, $600, $700 a month. That doesn't work anymore. That same house is now $250,000, and with current interest rates, that means your mortgage pament's about $1,500 a month. And the biggest kicker is rental rates have not gone up proportionate to the pricing of houses when you buy them. So you may only get $1,800 to $2,000 a month rent out of this property. So after all those things like taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs, management, vacancies, you're barely breaking even, if at all. And then house flipping. If you've ever watched HGTV, you know the appeal of flipping. Buy a distressed property, fix it up, sell it for a big payday. And many investors have made 6- and 7-figure incomes year after year flipping houses. And when done right, it can be incredibly lucrative. But there's a ton of risk in this strategy, especially for beginners. And then wholesaling. This is the fastest way to generate cash flow in real estate. Instead of using your own money or taking on any loans, any risk, you find undervalued properties and you connect motivated sellers with flipper buyers. It's how many investors get their start, learning the business while making money along the way. So each of these works. Each of these can change your financial future. But after $10 million in transactions, you start to see things for what they are. And just to recap, like we talked about, the BRRRR method is tough. It requires serious upfront capital. It's complicated. It's risky. You have to deal with renovations and tenants and refinancing and lenders. And it's a long-term play. You have to have multiple properties and you're building equity over time. You don't get that quick cash hit. Buy and hold. Again, requires a mortgage. You're dealing with tenant headaches. And in today's day and age, it just doesn't make sense. You're barely breaking even. Buy and hold is for equity plays. It's for tax write-offs, things like that. And then house flipping requires serious capital. There is a ton of risk. You're managing contractors. That's a full-time job. Market timing, especially in some of these coastal areas, you got to time the market perfectly. And if you haven't been in this business for a long time, it's very difficult to do. And then you're doing 6 to 9 months worth of work before you ever get paid. Now, wholesaling. Why is this the best way to start making money in real estate? Instead of buying, fixing, or holding properties, you're finding undervalued deals and connecting motivated sellers with eager buyers. You're the middleman, but you profit without ever owning the home. And unlike flipping or rentals, you don't need huge capital. There are ways to start with little to no money. No banks, no mortgages, no credit checks. It's also the perfect launch pad into real estate. You're learning how deals work, how to negotiate, how to spot opportunities without taking on the big financial risk. And now it's important to be clear. Wholesaling isn't passive, guys. This isn't a set it and forget it model. But if you want to generate cash flow fast without long wait times or financial risk, this is the strategy that gets you there. And in this presentation, I'm going to show you exactly how to do it step by step. So for me, wholesaling was obvious for a couple reasons. Money, every other strategy required a ton of cash or financing. I didn't have 50 grand sitting around in the bank to fund a flip or to buy a rental to put the 20% down payment on. But with wholesaling, I only needed a few $100s to start. Time. I was still working a full-time corporate job. I needed something I could do on the side. Something that let me start making money without quitting my job. Cash flow? When I found out that a single wholesale deal would pay $10, $20, even $40,000, I was hooked. I realized that just a few deals could replace my entire salary. If I could do just one deal a month, that would change everything. And the headaches? There weren't any. I knew I wanted to get into real estate, but I also knew I had zero interest in dealing with tenants, broken toilets, dealing with lenders, or expensive renovations. I wanted to focus on making money, not managing properties. That's why wholesaling made sense for me. And if you're looking for a way to get into real estate without a ton of capital, risk, hassle, it might be the smartest path for you too. So 10 grand. This number is what most people's goal is when they get into this business. Hit this number per month. It is completely possible. Even one deal every 2 months could get you 10 grand a month. So if you have a $20,000 deal, that pays for 2 months. If you have a $30,000 deal, that's 3 months. So one deal could pay for multiple months of $10,000 a month. Okay? So let's talk about passive income. So a lot of people talk about passive income, passive income, passive income. The idea that you just buy a rental property, get some tenants in, and then sit back and collect rent while your property appreciates over time. Yeah, that's possible, but let's put that into perspective. If you want to make $10,000 a month in passive income from rentals, this is what you would have had to do when my parents were buying properties back in the early 2000s. You may make $700 a month. You got to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 properties, around 14 to 15 properties to make 10 grand a month just on the cash flow. Now, like I talked about, you may be able to barely break even if you're buying properties the same way that people were back then, buying them off the MLS, putting 20% down, and then buying them with very little equity and at the top of the market. With interest rates the way they are, it's very difficult to make a couple $100s a month, which makes these numbers even more out of reach. So now you have to have 30, 40, 50 properties to make 10 grand a month. That's 30, 40, 50 mortgages, tenants, potential problems, and that's assuming zero vacancies, zero late payments, zero unexpected repairs. Now, does this work? I mean, yeah, it can, but it's slow, it's expensive, and if you're putting 20% down on every property at even $200,000 a property, that's 40 grand. So 30 properties even at 40 grand a property, that's millions of dollars that you got to put down in upfront cash to make 10 grand a month. Doesn't seem like a good idea to me. Instead of waiting months or years to build up this number of rental properties, I can make 10 grand in a matter of weeks. One distressed property, one motivated seller, one buyer who wants the deal, one transaction. That's it. I find the deal, I flip the contract, and I get paid. No tenants, no mortgages, no maintenance calls at 2 a.m. And when you learn how to consistently find these deals, you can repeat this process over and over, making more per deal than most landlords make in a year. And then what you do with that cash is up to you. If you want to take that 10, 20, 30 grand that you make on one of these wholesale deals and go throw that into a down payment on a property to hold as a rental and kind of offset some of your income from a tax standpoint, you can do that. But you have to increase your active income to be able to build that passive income. And again, when you learn how to find these deals, you can buy properties at extreme discounts that have that built-in equity that you can actually cash flow. So you have to build this business first. The business of finding distressed sellers and getting deals for pennies on the dollar. So the question becomes, do you want to spend years stacking rental properties to potentially hit 10K a month? Or do you want a faster way to build that cash flow by increasing your active income? So guys, like I said, wholesaling is the fastest way to start making money in real estate. But what do you do with that money? So here's the formula. Active income plus passive income plus time equals wealth. So step one, first, focus on active income, wholesaling deals while keeping your job. If you can build your income to 20K plus per month, even 10K a month, you now have options. Step two, instead of blowing that money on liabilities, you reinvest it, buying rental properties that generate that long-term passive income. And step three, over time, as you stack passive income, you get to the point where you don't need to actively work anymore. Your money is working for you. This is how wealth is actually built. Instead of waiting years to start investing, you use wholesaling to fund your future freedom, starting now. So what exactly is wholesaling? It's a simple, repeatable process that comes down to 4 key steps. Step one, you find a motivated seller. So you're looking for distressed properties, homes where the owner needs to sell fast. This could be due to foreclosure, inheritance, or, just a crappy looking house that's sitting vacant. So let's say Sally, for example, she's struggling to afford her home and needs to sell fast. She doesn't have time for realtors, showings, long negotiations. So step two, you get that property under contract. You negotiate with Sally and you agree on a price that makes sense. You don't need to buy the house though. You're simply locking in the deal with a contract that then controls the opportunity. You step in and agree to buy Sally's house for $100,000 in this instance. The key part is, like I said, you're not buying the house. And then step three, you find a real estate investor who wants the deal. Flippers, landlords, hedge funds, they're always looking for good deals. Your job is to connect the right buyer with the right opportunity. And then step four, you assign the contract and you get paid. So instead of buying the property yourself, you just sell the contract to the buyer for a fee. Usually $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 per deal, depending on how you negotiate. The flipper agrees to buy the property for $115,000. Sally gets $100,000. You get your $15K, and that's it. And you never owned the freaking home. You didn't have a mortgage. You didn't have to renovate anything. There was no risk of holding a property. Now, I know what you're probably wondering. Well, Ben, what if I can't find a buyer? What if the seller backs out? So I'll cover all of that in just a moment. But before we dive into the nitty-gritty details, I want to quickly touch on something that's important. So let's talk about one of the best-kept secrets in wholesaling, the best-kept secrets in real estate investing, foreclosing properties. So most investors overlook this niche, but here's why it's a gold mine if you know how to approach it. Motivated sellers. When a homeowner's facing foreclosure, time is not on their side. They need a solution fast, which makes them much more open to selling at a discount. There's also less competition. Many investors avoid foreclosure deals because they don't understand the process, or they're just pulling leads from a list provider. That list provider could be outdated. These deals have to move quick. So if the list provider is even a month outdated, these deals have already moved. These homeowners have already figured out what to do, and investors already come in and solve the problem. That means fewer people are fighting for these deals, giving you a major edge. And then specialized expertise. By focusing on this niche, you gain a unique skill set. You learn how to talk to distressed sellers, you learn how to negotiate win-win deals, and you build trust quickly. You also get to make real impact, right? So you're not just making money, you're helping families avoid the worst case scenario. You're helping save their financial future. Instead of losing everything to the bank, they get a way out, and you still earn a healthy profit. And then, guys, there's also predictable timelines. So unlike other off-market deals, foreclosures have deadlines. You know exactly when a property needs to be sold, making it easier to plan and close deals faster. So if you're looking for that niche with high motivation, less competition, and predictable timelines, foreclosure properties should be at the top of your list because they're at the top of mine. So now that you understand what wholesaling is, let's break it down exactly how you do it step by step, okay? So the first step is finding homeowners who need to sell fast, not just those who want to sell fast. These could be people facing foreclosure, divorce, probate, maybe just a tired landlord looking to offload a property, okay? So the key here is motivation. The more motivated the seller, the better the deal. So once you find a motivated seller, you run the numbers to make sure that there's room in the deal, that there's room to make a profit. So if the numbers make sense, you negotiate the price and sign a contract, locking in control of the property without actually buying the deal. Okay? So this contract is now an asset that you can sell. Now, instead of buying the house yourself, you just market the deal to an investor. These could be flippers, they could be landlords, they could be hedge funds, buyers who are actively looking for off-market deals. So your job is to present the deal in a way that makes it a no-brainer for them to buy. I'll show you how to do that. But once you find your buyer, you assign your contract to them for a fee, typically 10, 20, 30 grand. You never took out a mortgage. You never dealt with renovations. You simply controlled the contract and flipped it for a profit. Now imagine doing this once a month. What about twice a month? That's how wholesalers scale to six-figure incomes, seven-figure incomes. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. I'm going to show you how to find undervalued homes, find their info, and then how to scale, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually go to auction.com. So auction.com is right here. What we want to do is we want to go to this website, and we want to go to foreclosure. So we don't want the properties that have already foreclosed and that the bank owns. The ones that are in foreclosure means the homeowner still owns them. We can reach out to said homeowner, get that deal under contract, and still have time to move it, okay? So I typically go by county. So I'll just type in Jackson County, which is my county here in Kansas City, Missouri. And this is always what we're looking for. We're looking for that green dot. So this one's got a green dot on foreclosure sale in person, February 27th, okay? So this is going to be tough because we don't have that much time to get this deal done. It's the 24th as we're speaking today, and this says February 27th. So typically what I recommend is at least 7 to 10 days out from the date for leads that you're going to look at, okay? So it gives us plenty of time to talk to the homeowner, get it under contract. Obviously, after we build this initial list, what we're going to do is have only the new ones that hit this list are going to be the ones that we're looking at because we're already going to have this initial list built out. So in the beginning, this is a one-time thing where you're going to pull leads in the very beginning, and then you're going to start to get the newly updated leads as they start to hit, and those will hit further down the schedule, okay? So we've got all these properties here. So if we click into one of them, we actually have this one under contract right here. This property on McKinley, we've got it under contract. So let's just click on another one. So we look at this house, and we see that we've got Wednesday, March 5th. That gives us a little bit of time to get this thing done, okay? And there are ways to stop the foreclosure sale. If you have a really good title company, they'll help you stop the foreclosure sale, and I'll show you how to find a title company here in a minute. So what do we want to do? Well, we want to copy this address, and then we want to use one of my favorite websites, truepeoplesearch.com. And we're going to go to the homepage, and then we're going to go to address search, and we're going to paste the address into there. And we're going to click this search button, okay? And while this loads, we now get all of these records that pop up. So we want to click into each one of these and see whose current address is the property address. So we're looking for 8105 East 80th Terrace. This current address is not that address. So let's go to the next one. That one's not the same address. Let's go to the next one. 8105 East 80th Terrace. There we go. This is probably the person living in the house. And look what we can do down here. We have a wireless phone number. Last reported of January of 2025. This is probably her phone number. So to get in contact with the homeowner, we can do a variety of things. I'm not going to dive too much into that. You can obviously either call her, send a text message. One of the things that's worked really well for us recently is Facebook messaging. So we just send them a message, say, hey, regardless of how we're reaching out to them, this is typically the message that we use. Hey, is this Elizabeth? Yeah, Elizabeth, this is just Ben. I had some information come across my desk. It looks like your lender scheduled a sale for March 5th. Does that sound right? It does? Okay. I know this is super out of the blue, but hopefully you have it handled. If you don't, though, is there anything that I can do to help? And then we build the conversation from there. So we focus on adding value first. We don't immediately call them and say, hey, do you want to sell your house? We focus on adding value, helping them through their problems. You're going to spend some time talking to these homeowners. They're going to have problems that are going on in their life that got them to this point. So dive into that. Figure out what got them to this point. Start to build that relationship by letting them talk, letting them vent. A lot of these people have no one to talk to because it's embarrassing for them to talk to any friends or family. So if you call them up, they're probably going to want to talk about it. And if they don't, that's fine. Move on to the next person. Okay? So we've got their phone number. We even have a landline here for them. And then we have all these people that are potential relatives. We have possible associates. So we have so many people that we can contact. And guys, one of the things that people tell me is, well, if I get a bad phone number, do I just move on to the next lead? Yes, if you want to be like every other investor. But my favorite leads are the ones where this phone number doesn't immediately go to Elizabeth, because I know that what every other investor is going to do is they're going to move on. They're going to quit on this deal. They're going to give up on this lead. But if I just dig a little bit deeper and go down to here, maybe call a relative, maybe call Anthony, say, hey, Anthony, which this is probably her husband, to be fair, age 38. She's 30. It's either her husband or a brother or a cousin, something like that. So we can reach out to Anthony, say, hey, Anthony, this has just been, hey, man, I'm looking at some information that came across my desk. The number that I've got for Elizabeth is 785-366-6978. Looks like that's a bad number, and I really need to get in touch with her. You're listed as a contact of hers. Do you happen to have a better phone number for her? Almost every time they're going to give you the better phone number if you present it that way. Okay? So now we've gotten in touch with her. We can even go door knock on her door if she doesn't answer the phone, if no one's picking up, if these relatives don't give you any information, which is very unlikely. Go knock on the freaking door. What is every other investor not going to do? Go knock on the door, because it's quote unquote scary. They don't know what could happen at said door. I've knocked on thousands of doors. I've had people yell at me. Yeah, sure. But I've also been able to get deals right there in face to face with people on the first knock, made $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 just knocking on a door. Okay. So yeah, you're going to get a lot of deals where people either don't answer the door, or they tell you to go away, but that's just one step closer to getting a deal. Okay. So now we've got the homeowner's information. What do we need to do next? Well, we need to run our numbers. We've got the homeowner talking. They're interested in selling. We need to run our numbers. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Zillow for that. So I'm going to use this property, for example. I'm going to use 2317 South Summit Street, and we're going to go to Zillow and type that in. This is a property that I've previously comped. So we're going to go through this process together. So we need to figure out what we can pay for this property. And there's a formula that we use. It's called the 75% rule. So we take the after repair value, which is what we're going to figure out right now. So the after repair value is the top end value of a property. It's what a flipper could sell the property for after they've gone and done all of the renovations and made this property like new. Okay? So we got to figure out what that top end value is. So we need to look at comparable properties in the neighborhood of the property that we're looking at. So we've got this property at 2317 South Summit Street, which is right down here. So one of the things that we want to do is we want to change some filters, but we want to find the street first. There it is, South Summit Street. So what we want to do is we want to go to sold. We want to hit apply. Then we want to not worry about the price. The beds and baths we want similar. So we had a 4-bed, 1-bath that was listed on Zillow. It's actually a 4-bed, 2-bath. Zillow just had the numbers wrong. But I'd never want to go above 3 bedrooms, because when you go to 4 bedrooms, it decreases your search results by a significant amount. So we're going to go 3 plus, and then we know we have 2 bathrooms because we looked at the house. We want to go 2 plus, and then click apply. And then home type, we want to match it up. So we're looking at a house. We want a house. Click apply, and then more. Ideally, you go to sold in the last 6 months, but if there's not enough results like this, I'm going to go back 12 months. And then click apply. And now we're looking for similar properties. So we want a similar look and feel of the property that we were looking at. So click out of that. I'm going to show you this property again. So 2317 South Summit Street. Let's look at what this thing looks like. So it's a big 3-story house, right? So let's look and see if there's other recently sold big 3-story houses. That is not a comparable. That doesn't look anything like our house. It's less square feet. We want to stay within 20% on the square footage. So We're at 2,200 square feet, so we want to go plus or minus 20%. So that house looks nothing like ours. It's not even similar in any means. Again, this house looks nothing like ours. Again, nothing like ours. And this thing looks like it's fallen over. Now we're talking. This one looks similar to ours, okay? So let's give this bad boy a look. So what we're looking for is completely updated. Completely updated. We want something that's done, right? So we've got the photos here. The outside looks great. The inside, it's still got the old wood look, but this is a historic district. That's fine. I would say the floors aren't necessarily fully updated. It looks like it's lived in a little bit, which that's okay. We got some updated fixtures here, cool accent walls, and the kitchen is your telltale sign. So this kitchen's obviously been updated. It's got 2 sinks, but it's obviously been updated. Nice tile. Then another thing that you can tell is stainless steel appliances typically mean it's been updated. Then we want to look at bathrooms. So we've got a nice updated new tile here, bathroom. See the new tile on the walls and the new tile on the floor? Then another new tile on the walls, cool tile here, hex tile on the floors, another updated bathroom, cool updated attic space, and another updated bathroom with a patio room on the back, okay? So all kinds of cool stuff going on with this house. Not 100% updated, but I'd say 95% updated. So this is a good comp, 300 grand. Yeah, it has one extra bathroom, but it also has one less bedroom, and it's only 200 square feet more, which falls under the 20% parameter. So let's go look and see if we can find another one that's similar. We want at least 2 to 3 properties that we can average the sale price and find our after repair value. Nope, that doesn't look anything like ours. 4 bed, 4 bath, 3,100 square feet. That's almost 1,000 square feet more with 2 more bathrooms. That's not a comparable. Okay, so here we go. Another one. So we're at almost 2,200 square feet. This is 2,500 square feet. Fits the square feet parameters. 3 bed, 3 bath. Again, 1 less bed, 1 more bath. Let's give this a look. Nice updated exterior. Cool lot. The floors, again, need sanded and restained, you can tell here. So not fully updated. This fireplace is outdated, but you have the white trim going on. And then we get to the kitchen. Bathroom, it's decent. It's got wainscoting. But let's get to the kitchen. Okay, so here's the kitchen. Holy yellow. That's a lot of yellow. But it's obviously updated. We've got the stainless steel and the appliances. You see the dishwasher here. Butcher block countertop. That looks like a hard stone counter here. We've got the updated handles, the updated faucet, and then an updated fixture here as well. So you can tell that somebody's put some work into this. Again, hex tile on the bathroom floor. That looks really cool. Well done on the bathroom. This is an updated house. Not 100%, but again, probably 95%. And it also has this back porch little area. Ours does too. Okay? So that's another comp. And it looks like there's only 2. So let's average those up. So 300 plus 305 divided by 2 is 3,025. 3,025 is not an ARV. An after repair value is an interval of $5,000. So if you go and market a property at 3,025 as the ARV, every flipper on the planet is going to know that you're a rookie. So you want to round down to the nearest 5,000. So that would be $300,000 in this case would be our after repair value. Okay. So now that we have the after repair value, now we need to figure out our rehab budget. So how do we do that? Well, it's a good question. I've made this super simple for you. We've averaged the price of a lot of rehabs, hundreds and hundreds of rehabs, and lumped them into a couple groups by square footage and by the quantity of the remodel, right? So a light remodel, maybe some flooring, maybe some paint, maybe some small repairs. With the square footage shows you your pricing on the remodel. Average remodel, you need more, like the whole house needs flooring. You need to do a kitchen. You need to do some bathrooms. Then a heavy remodel is everything. So windows, siding, drywall, HVAC, roof. It doesn't necessarily need all of those things to be a heavy remodel, but just a couple of those things will kind of fall into that heavy remodel group. And what most wholesalers do is they underestimate the rehab dollars, and then they will overestimate the after repair value. So don't be like the rookie investor. So square footage wise, we're sitting at about 2,000 square feet. And I've got photos of the house that I'll show you in a second so we can determine which one of these it falls under. But just a quick little tip. I've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of remodels. Less than 10 of them have ever fallen under the light remodel. Most of your remodels are going to be at least average. If it needs barely anything, it could be a light remodel. Remodels are expensive. Labor's expensive. So almost everything's going to be at least an average remodel. So now let's look at the photos. So we're sitting on this right here. So let's figure out what our costs are going to be. So if we're looking through these photos, the outside clearly needs some work, and woof, this thing needs a lot of work. The outside clearly needs repairs, major repairs. The electrical panel needs major repairs. This is like the best looking house in the room, or this is the best looking room in the house. And that obviously has some issues, saw the bugs there. Window units are always a good sign that maybe the central HVAC's gone out. And then you can see that these hardwood floors have been painted. It's just a lot needs to be done here. And the windows obviously need to be replaced. We got wooden windows. Those are not vinyl windows that are two paned. We need to get those windows replaced, which is a big ticket. So if we go back to our sheet here, that's going to fall under the heavy remodel. We need windows, we need siding, we need probably drywall. The HVAC really isn't working, and I believe this thing needs a roof too. So we're right in here on our heavy remodel. That's $100,000. Using our formula, 75% of ARV, after repair value, means 75% of the after repair value, which is $300,000, which is what we came up with, times 0.75 minus $100,000 equals $125,000 as the MAO, or our max allowable offer. So that formula again is ARV times 0.75 minus rehab is our MAO, or our max allowable offer. That's the most that we can offer for the property and still make money, because flippers can buy at 80% of ARV minus rehab. So we know that we have that 5% built into that. Now that we figured out what we can pay, we're obviously going to start lower than our MAO to try to make a little bit more money. So we know that the most that we can pay is 125. We're going to start below that. We're going to start at maybe 110, maybe 115, and go from there with the negotiation with this. So let's get back to our presentation here. And we just talked about it. We ran the numbers. We figured out that we can pay up to $125,000. Now we need to negotiate win-win terms and structure agreements that benefit both us and the seller. So we need to listen to them, figure out their situation, and spend time talking with them about what they've got going on, what they need help with, so that we can structure a deal that works for both. And then, like anything, the sellers are more likely to sign when they trust that you're going to solve their problem. So build the trust with them. Spend more time than the next guy. Most investors typically spend between 10 and 15 minutes with a homeowner before making an offer. Be better than that. It takes longer than 10 to 15 minutes to get somebody to know, like, and trust you. So we're right here. We found the seller. We've locked up the deal because we just signed a contract with that homeowner for $115,000. Now we need to find a cash buyer. So we need to market the deal to investors looking for property. So how do we do that? We tap into our local networks. We use Facebook groups, local investor meetups. You can go to meetup.com and find investor meetups. Community boards like Craigslist and all of these places are going to be full of cash buyers. If you have a good deal, you're going to find a buyer for that deal. And then if you have access to pre-vetted buyer networks to save time, you can use my pre-vetted buyer networks. I've got buyers all over the country. If you have a deal, reach out to me and I'll help you find a buyer. And then you just build relationships. So the more that you go to some of these local investor meetup groups, the more relationships you're going to build. And you may JV with somebody, meaning you have a deal, you can't find a buyer for it, but you know somebody that might have a buyer for it. So you guys split the deal. Who cares if you're going to make 20 grand on the deal? So making $10,000 versus making zero because you couldn't find a buyer is obviously better. So let me show you one of the quickest ways to find buyer. So we're going to go into Facebook, and we're going to go over here, and we're going to type in real estate investor, my city. And then we're going to click on groups. So we're looking for groups with multiple thousands of members and multiple posts a day. Kansas City Real Estate Investors, join that group. Kansas City Real Estate Investors, Kansas Real Estate Investors, 3.3 thousand members, 9 posts a day, join that group. Real estate in Kansas City under 30K, perfect. 14,000 members, 7 posts a day, join that group. Real Estate Investors, Kansas City, Kansas. Real Estate Investors, Kansas City, Missouri. There's so many groups that you can join to go and either find buyers, post your deals, whatever you need to do, even build your team. So I'll show you one of the groups that we're a part of here in Kansas City that I used to start building my buyers list. And now our buyers list is over 7,000. So you go into these groups and you go over to this little search icon. You click it, and all you do is type cash buyer. Look how easy this is. So I have a cash buyer. You can put this person on your list. Hey, cash buyers, I have this property. Click on the comments. Address, please, thanks. There's a cash buyer. Hey, cash buyers, I have a deal. Hey, cash buyers, looking to sell my deal. 3 comments. I've got deals. All cash buyers, yeah, not anything really there. Contract for sale, investor special, 6 comments. So click on the comments. Go down to, obviously, all comments. Look at all the people that are buyers here. And then all you do is message them and say, hey, I saw that you were looking for deals in Kansas City. Are you still interested in buying off-market deals? You just send them a message. Start to build that relationship. And then get their information, get their email, get their phone number, so that when you have a deal, you already have buyers that you can reach out to. We're looking for, we are cash buyers. There's another one. Price reduction, 3 comments. Every once in a while, you're going to run across a big one. Anyone interested in looking at this before I start working on it? 50 comments on deals right here, or 50 comments on this deal right here. 50 cash buyers that are interested. Okay, so this is the easiest way to find buyers. And then another thing people ask me all the time is, well, Ben, how do I find a title company that knows how to do wholesaling deals or knows how to do deals that are in foreclosure? Well, go right here. Type in title company instead of cash buyer. Look. Is there a title company in town that does subject to deals? There a title company that will provide title insurance? Best title company for investors in Kansas City. 4 comments. Anybody got a title company they like? Hey, team, I have a client selling a house. Need a title company. Anyone know a title company that can run title and close in 7 days? Perfect. Just go through here. You may even type in title company foreclosure, or just type in foreclosure and see what pops up. See what resources you can, and then reach out to the title companies. Say, hey, listen, I'm doing deals with people in foreclosure. Have you ever worked with those before? And then how many wholesale deals do you do a year? Just start building that conversation, building that relationship. If they know what they're doing, they're going to be able to answer the question. So now that you found the buyers, what do you do next? We obviously got to highlight the opportunity. You show the details of the deal. So you give them the address, you give them the bedrooms, bathrooms, you give them photos of the property. So take a ton of photos, take a walkthrough video, or have the seller send those to you if you want to do this all remotely. And then you just present it to them. And you try to get multiple buyers to bid against each other on this deal. Say, hey, listen, in that example that we had before, we have it under contract for $115. So we're going to market it to buyers at $125, $130. Okay? So let's say we market it at $130. And we get 5 people that are interested in $130. Now we can have them bid against each other and say, hey, we got 5 people that are interested. Go to every one of them. Say, we got 5 people interested. We need your highest and best offer by tomorrow at 5 p.m. And then you can make even more money by negotiating the deal in the back end. So let's say that the highest offer is $140. Now you made the difference between $115 and $140. Congratulations. You just made a lot of money. So build a relationship with them. Provide the necessary details. Be nice. It's very easy in this business to kind of be a prick, especially if people lowball you. Don't take it personally. Don't take any of this personally. Be nice. And then get a contract with the buyer. So it's a simple assignment agreement. It is a 1-page assignment agreement. I can send you mine too if you want it. And obviously, any of the contracts that I send you have an attorney look over them, but it's a simple agreement that you have them sign. You send both of the agreements now that you have, the purchase agreement with the seller and the contract with the buyer. You send those to a title company, and the title company takes care of everything, schedules closing, gets everything done for you from there. So congratulations. You've now just made your first assignment fee. So at this point, there's bad news and there's good news. The bad news is there's too much that goes into building a full-time wholesaling business that I can fit in this training. And honestly, this training could be 6 hours long, and I wouldn't be able to cover everything that goes into getting to $10,000 a month with wholesaling. The good news is I built the turnkey process that takes absolute beginners and gives them everything that they need to scale their wholesaling business to one deal a month or $10,000 to $15,000 a month. And that system is called Wholesale Mastery. So Wholesale Mastery is the same process that took Chris from a brand new real estate investor and firefighter to having a $200,000 a year wholesaling business. What we show you is a step-by-step video walkthrough. You get to watch exactly how to find, negotiate, and close deals. There's no guesswork. It's over 10 hours of video training. There's advanced lead generation blueprints, proven methods to find motivated sellers. You're never short on leads. You're never short on highly motivated leads. And then you get that one-on-one support from me, directly from me. I don't pass you off to anybody else. You get to work with me. Get that direct feedback, that direct guidance, so you're never stuck, you're never second-guessing yourself. And then you get the templates, the scripts, the contracts, the resources. Remember how we talked about adding value? I've built out all those value-add pieces. You get all of those. Copy and paste scripts, contracts, close deals faster. You don't have any guesswork. And then you get access to my buyer network. Plus, one of the things that we don't mention here, but that we offer and that we give everybody is a full built-out CRM. So not only do you get a place to store all of your leads, you get the exact same messages that I send to homeowners and the same cadence. So on day 1, they get a message. Day 2, they get a different message. Day 3, they get a different message. All of that is built into your CRM. Day 1, all you have to do is add the homeowner's information, add the address, click the play button, and it sends all of this out for you. So you don't have to spend hours and hours and hours sending these text messages individually. And this is the exact same system that helped one of my most successful students, Sam, go from Fortune 500 COO to a very prominent real estate investor who now has operations in 2 markets. She had a good job, but she wanted that freedom. And within her first 9 months in 2024, she did over $184,000 in profit.
This system is absolutely awesome. You not only get language, you get SOPs, you get marketing materials, you get the whole package. It's turnkey. The thing that I love about it the most is perhaps there's 2 things. One, the clarity that it's given us. We know every single day we come in exactly what to do. It takes out all of the guesswork. And the second thing that I love is the support that we've got from the team. There's stuff that comes up that's unexpected in any business venture, and they've been with us the whole way. So just having that confidence in our back pocket, and I highly recommend it. It takes out all the guesswork in your first year. You don't have to make all these mistakes and wonder what to do every single day. Your first 12 months can be so accelerated, and you can start having success right out of the gate, and then having confidence that there's experts in your corner to help you figure out anything that's unknown. So I recommend it. It's been a huge blessing to us, and I know it would be for you too.
So that's it. She's done phenomenal with this system. She's just killed it. And then she started in one market. She did so well there that she just decided, you know what? I've always wanted to have houses in Florida, invest in Florida, maybe potentially one day live in Florida. So why not just open an operation down in Florida? So that's what she did. So that's it, guys. I hope you found this training helpful. And if you have any questions or would like more information on Wholesale Mastery, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram @TheBenAllgaier. Again, thanks for sticking with me. We made it all the way through. Looking forward to talking to you soon.